All right. Okay. So we're going straight into our conversation.
Our conversation,
Lifestyle.
indeed, it's
Yes.
lifestyle. Of course, we said early on, she has that rare, job, occupation, if you like. She calls herself, what? The Ashao driver. In fact, according to her, she's done it all. She's roamed everywhere. But today she's on call service, so you can get her services anytime once you call her on phone. She is a graduate, a first degree holder from the University of Ghana, Legon. And of course, she is a female taxi driver. Esenam.
Hello, Besua.
Hello.
Kafui.
Hi. Nice to see you.
It's a pleasure.
Nice.
It's a pleasure.
An honor to be here.
Where's the ride? Where's the car?
Outside,
It's
waiting
outside.
for you.
Okay. Okay. When you
So
finish
I
the book.
actually need a ride.
Right.
After the show, I need a ride from here.
Great.
Yes,
It
thank
works
you.
perfectly.
Fantastic.
It funds my fuel for coming here.
Beautiful.
I know,
I know
right?
our head of camera is going to take a picture of that taxi and post it on social media
Yeah.
pretty soon
Great,
before this interview is
great,
over.
great, great.
Listen, what was your degree in Legon again?
I read social work major with psychology minor.
Okay. Did you ever dream that you'd be a taxi driver?
No, not necessarily. I rather dreamt to be a tipper truck driver.
Okay.
And now you're
Still a
taking
driver.
it to a different level.
Right. Okay.
How come?
Super track.
Oh, why not? Because I don't think the AMA boss have any law. Either he wrote it this morning or this dawn saying no female should ever be seen behind the tipper truck wheels. For me, it would have been my biggest gender statement ever made. But 6 months scouting and looking for a driver to take me on as a trainee driver, and that wasn't successful. So I sort of got to the reality crossroad, knowing that I needed to tone down my ambition. And I sort of settled down on taxi because then I don't need anyone's permission to drive a taxi.
But do you still dream it though? You do?
In fact, anytime my head touches my pillow, I start dreaming about it. I would visualize everything. Me sitting behind the wheels, that engine, that loud engine sound making that noise and all that. I still dream about it.
Where does this dream come from? Where does the whole business of driving come from?
My love for driving sort of started after I had survived a car accident, a vehicular accident, right here in Accra. In fact, between the 37 Military Hospital and then the Switchback Lane Junction, the 33-seater bus I was in fell on its side. I got trapped, yes, underneath, because I was in there. And I was sitting just by the window. It sort of skidded off for some meters before coming to a halt. After I had gone through the hospitals and everything, I realized I had just developed a sudden phobia for riding in vehicles. Because when I'm in a trotro, even going to dress up my wounds and everything, should the driver sort of speed a bit, I'm like shouting and screaming, the driver there, Tobo, hey, yeah. And then I realized, I was embarrassing myself because, trust me, Ghanaian passengers, and I also had the speed here and I was all over the place. I was just embarrassing myself. So I said, look, Esenam, it's about time you face this phobia. Wherever this phobia is coming from, you face it head on. So I decided to learn how to drive.
How did you deal with it?
Learning?
Just by learning how to drive, it went away.
I went through the normal driving school, the theory section, the practical section. In fact, immediately I hit the road the first time. I was like, this is no big deal. In fact, driving is an art and science. The whole love started when I realized you are supposed to coordinate all your senses. Your feet working, hands, ears, eyes. It was fantastic. And I was like, look, I love this to bits. Me taking control.
I was going to talk about that control.
It's about that freedom, having control over your life. I'm like, okay, today, Esenam, you are behind the wheels. You don't need to ask anybody to slow down. You go at your pace. You sort of speed up when it's needed. That freedom, that control, it just blew my mind away.
Was that?
Ever since.
Did you start with your own car?
In fact, Kafui, I learned how to drive without even knowing when I would ever own my own car. For me, it was just getting over my phobia.
So how did you get started?
Oh, I started after, I think about a year later, I got some coins to buy some rickety Opel Kadett
Okay.
wagon.
Do you remember the number?
Hey, Charlie, I can't.
But what color was it?
Oh, it was honey color. One subtle honey color, my favorite though.
Okay.
And I was then also operating a handicraft business called Antiques Batik. And I would make batiks, and then I had finishers carted all over Accra to finish the products, as in they could make garments, tablecloths, bear sheets, oven mitts, anything to do with households. And I would have to drive length and breadth of Accra, picking up my finished products so that I could exhibit at trade shows and trade fairs and all that.
Okay.
So that sort of gave me my orientation to the geographical setting of Accra.
So you know Accra pretty well.
Oh, pretty well to make money out of it.
Okay. And I'm just wondering, you start as an Ashawo taxi. You know, that's the down below term for a floating taxi.
Oh, yes. Is
that how you started?
I started that way. Honestly, I started just like any other regular taxi driver would start. Probably offer bought you a taxi to the male ones, and you have to sort of make ends meet. For me, my case was even special because I got the taxi on credit. And my days were ticking, hours were ticking.
You have to work.
I needed to work. My first payment must come. And I didn't have a union. I needed to make the money. So I started driving around.
Oh,
My
your
case-
roots. The roots.
Okay, just before the rules, though, you didn't have a union, so it meant that you never joined any taxi rank.
I'm coming there. The story is fantastic. Before I got the taxi, they gave me my keys, I had gone to 3 taxi unions for me to join them formally. And they were all saying no.
Why?
Why?
Because I'm a woman.
A woman.
What has that got to do with driving?
This is Ghana. Hello, Africa. Wake up
Wake
and
up.
smell the morning coffee.
How long
Smell it,
ago
smell it,
was
smell it.
this? How long ago was this?
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Because I was actually 3 years last Sunday as a female taxi driver.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's for the 15th.
I want my cake this high.
It's coming. That
For
cake
you.
is coming. Oh, yeah. 3 years.
Definitely.
Oh, wow. So they said, no, that we're not going to let you join the union.
Because I'm a woman, and some would publicly, openly say it. And I said, "What you beji a customers a customers And
Just because you're a woman.
just because I was a woman, or I'm a woman, and for one of the taxi ranks, in fact, I started with this whole picture in mind. I needed a clientele base. I had my clientele base I wanted to serve, and I needed one spot that could introduce me to my clientele base.
What was your clientele base when you set out?
My clientele base is corporate Accra, the expatriates, and then the tourists.
Nice. It's segmentation at the highest level.
Indeed.
Okay.
If you
Yeah,
say
that's
so, Kafui,
All right, so-
I didn't say US,
No,
I
but
didn't
it's
say
real good marketing. I mean, these are the ones who can pay good money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
of course, we're getting all of these reactions, from
Good.
these taxi ranks. And let me look at passengers as well. Did we get reactions from passengers
Oh
as well?
yes, that
The
takes
fact that
me
there
back
was
to
a
when I
woman
was
behind
like
the wheel.
the ashawo or the floating taxi driver. It's a rare thing to find a woman driving a taxi, number one. So me driving around the city, they weren't sure. Some will flag me down, I'll stop and they say, "Oh, madam, me pacho, a taxi." And I'll say yes.
Of course.
Some
Because were the fenders painted yellow, so it looked like a taxi.
It's a taxi.
Okay, that's it on the screen.
Plain taxi. But they weren't sure whether I was in to work or I just fired the driver and got the taxi to get me from point 1 to point B. It was really a hassle. But those who were quite brave to further question me, "Madam, who ye Juma na?" And I'll say yes, and then they're hopping.
And what kind of conversations would they have with you?
Gosh, oh dear. It's like, "Madam, are you sure? Is this what you do for a living?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir. This is what I do for a living." "No, I'm sure you are an undercover investigator.
Some kind of anas something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got that tag several times over.
Really?
As in, I think you went for the BNI. Just tell me, I wouldn't tell anyone. I'm like, I'm a taxi driver. Get a hold of yourself.
Oh, wow.
Did you get a feeling that it was more of they not feeling too comfortable with a woman, you know, driving them?
Exactly.
Or
just
what
like
was
you
it?
said, Bezwa. One, women are, anecdotal evidence sort of have this perception about male taxi drivers or male drivers judging female drivers as in, oh, one car can't and then there she's not driving her private vehicle, she's driving a taxi. How safe am I in this lady's hands? Is she gonna
throw me off,
jam my legs and have me amputated or whatever? So sometimes you have clients sitting in, and instead of sitting in as clients, they sit in as my mini driving instructor. Hey, madam, look out. Oh, that vehicle is coming. Hey, madam, I'm like, chill.
Till today, you get that?
Oh, not now.
Not now. It was
now.
a novelty then.
Yes.
How many female taxis drivers are there in Accra? Really? Do you know? Do you have like a union?
Well, this will shock you. So keep your jaw up. We only 3 now.
3.
Yes.
Are you looking at Accra alone or like
Accra
Ghana?
alone.
Accra.
One
3.
we know is in Koforidua, documented for sure. One we know in Takoradi. And then another lady I hear is in Kumasi, and that's just about it.
Listen, I know a lot of taxi drivers who operate in the night have a clanthe, a cutlass under their seat, in case you try something funny. Are you armed?
Oh, never armed. Never armed in the sense that now it's a whole new level. My clientele base are, as in, my choice. Now I don't drive around picking random clients.
You used to do that.
I used to.
Were you armed then?
I wasn't armed.
Did you ever do nights?
I did.
How late did you drive?
Oh dear, I did. I did to the point that I will pitch myself so close to the entrance of 1 or 2 popular nightclubs. Oh no, I wouldn't say nightclubs, no. A pub or a restaurant somewhere in Laboni, very famous or popular with expatriates and all that. And you find people who have sipped in 1 or 2 mixtures of concoction and can't find their keys, and I have to drive them home.
How late is this? How late is this? What was the latest you've been driving?
Ready to keep your jaw up?
Yes, indeed.
1 a.m.
1 a.m. A lady, and your taxi, do you insist that at that time the passengers come and sit in the front?
I didn't care where they sat, honestly. Because as at that time, you know, when you read psychology, I mean, education makes a difference, right? And you can't say I would always be right anyway. You can't always be right. With psychology, it's just observing, analyzing, and predicting. That's what you do. But when someone flags me down, approaches me, within split seconds, I must be able to pick up information right on you and analyze that data. And that would inform me whether to say yes or no to you.
So your study at the university works here for you?
It works. Psychology for everyday living. In fact, I wish every single soul running through our tertiary education, psychology must be a must.
Talking about your clientele, so a little birdie just whispered in our ears that the British High Commissioner,
oh my dear,
John Benjamin, is one of your clients. How cool is that?
Well, that little birdie. I wish I had
right?
a catapult.
It's a naughty birdie. Yeah. So
Anyway.
you have high level clients.
Indeed.
Well, it's all about selling your service to the right people in the right way, and then you could get them.
So how were you able to grab him? Did you have to send a letter to the High Commissioner?
Not at all. That's how it happened. You know, going back to that story, when the 3 taxi unions wouldn't take me, I went back to one. Specifically, one taxi rank located within the airport city, close to the Marina Mall. And I went back to them and said, look, you wouldn't accept me formally in your union, but let's work a deal out. I would hang around you. Should you have clients walk up to you and they make you an offer you don't want to take, can you toss back your rejected offers to me? And they said, they were like, oh, I will pay a reject, and they are all for you. And I would, weekends I'll pitch myself there because I needed that class of clientele base. So one day I met one right man with a wife and a toddler, and he was an expert. He wanted to pay a fee, they would charge much more. And then they were like, and I'm always tucked at the back. My taxi is way, because I'm not part of the union. You're not supposed to be seen.
Yeah, a petcher.
A petcher. Petcher, real petcher. And I was at the back. So they yelled me out, hey, obviously I'll call Rage, call 8 CDs, opa. And I said, fine, I will. And then I walked up to the couple and their toddler, and they're like, a woman? And I smiled back, and I said, yes, a woman. Yes. He sat in, and we got talking. And they're like, you know, we just moved into Ghana, and honestly, I think your service is just a novelty. I would rather feel much safer knowing that I could call you, and then you pick up my wife and kids, and if they want to step out, you would be the right person. And he was like, do you mind if I share your contact with my colleagues at work? And he never mentioned his workplace. And I said, you're free to do so. I'm like, Charlie, wow, don't worry. You're free to do so. And apparently he worked for the Canadian High Commission.
Okay.
So then I started having phone calls from some of the staff. Wow. Later on, I realized they had placed me on their list as an alternative taxi or transport service provider.
Wow.
Before I said Jack, they rolled me over to British High Commission, rolled me over to the Netherlands Embassy, some international organizations. So that's how come John Benjamin's got my number.
Wow.
And,
I love the way the whole thing progressed from just one reject.
Right,
you know, and there are a lot of lessons for you to learn if you're running your business. And in case you joined us, we're here with Miss Taxi, Esenam Nyador, also called Awo. From what she's telling us. And there's some questions for you. So many questions.
Really?
There's a safety question here from Mensa in Osu.
Okay.
King Calf, is it not dangerous for Esenam with all these robbers in the night and all that stuff?
Robert in Osu.
Mensa.
Sorry. As a noun, as I said, my whole service is on the call.
Yeah.
And when I'm serving Beswa, I probably knew Beswa through you.
Okay.
So there's always a mutual
There's a link. Yeah. But were you ever attacked in the past?
Never.
Never attacked?
Never.
Did you ever feel scared? You looked at the person and thought, I shouldn't have picked
so
this guy.
that comes in with my psychology. I'm always analyzing people.
So you've never had any sense of discomfort?
No, because I needed to make the right choice for you to be in my taxi. If I make the wrong move,
it could
I'm
be deadly.
in trouble.
Yeah.
Looking at your clientele, though, you can tell, and we all know that these people or this group of people are so particular about customer service.
Exactly.
Indeed, I think in one of the videos I saw you open the door for a client.
Yes.
Walk us through, how that you bring the services to the doorsteps of your clients.
Wow. So, in fact, it starts right by saying hello. Should you get in touch with me via voice call, email, text message? In fact, for voice call, when you call and I see a number that has no name, I say taxi service, good morning, taxi service, good afternoon, taxi service, good evening.
Standard.
Standard is a default response. Because for me, that's the most formal way of responding to someone you've not met in person.
And that's what we get elsewhere. I mean, if you've called up taxis abroad, you know the kind of, services that you get. So once I have now sat in the car,
yes.
What kind of service
I would
do
want
I get?
to ask you, immediately sitting, I would ask you, any radio station you would want to listen to?
I like this.
Anything special you would want to listen to? If it's music, I ask you what sort of music, because I've got some collections of sounds that I would serve. So you tell me your theme, and I get it done.
I've never had any taxi driver ask me what I want to listen to. Normally you enter and then they bombard and assault you with whatever they're listening to.
Indeed, but
Well,
to be fair, I've had one young man, treat me this way.
Okay.
I got in the
Great.
car, but then he's like, Madam Pacho Station, Ben Opesoti.
Oh,
Fantastic.
lovely,
It's
lovely.
operating on your wavelength.
Yes, I
And then
would
immediately,
love that.
I had to save his number.
One time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Indeed,
Whoa.
customer service is key.
I've never had that.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're a taxi driver, I want to
See
pick you.
you.
Please do that. Do that. Let me also save your number to all taxi drivers in the world. We're learning from Miss Taxi and Biswas Taxi Man. So then so after you've done that service, then the journey goes on. If you don't feel talkative, but the customer wants to converse,
Oh, I must feel talkative, whether I like it or not. Because for me, immediately you sit in my taxi, you own the vehicle. And you own me as a driver. It's just as you've employed me to drive you and probably will be paying me at the end of the month. Immediately you step in, you are my boss. Honestly. And anytime I sit, should you see me behind my wheels, you see me in my uniform. And this is my uniform.
this is what you wear every day.
We're just coming
This
there.
is my uniform.
This is your
coming
uniform.
there.
So what you
My
have
uniform.
5 or 7 of these tops.
I'm telling you,
Wow.
So standard.
standard.
So this is like
Prescribed
branding.
by you.
By me.
But this is like branding, you know.
This is branding.
Is this one of the prints? Your own prints?
No,
Okay.
no,
So what
from-
informed this uniform?
What informs this uniform? It makes life for me much easier. I don't need to stand in front of my wardrobe and think of what I should be wearing today or
we
not.
were talking about that
Standard.
today.
I know.
Should you see me wearing anything apart from this behind my wheels, then I cease to be Miss Taxi that
Exactly.
day. I am Esenam carrying out my own
Your
business.
duties. I see that your shoes are not the ones that you would take off if you're driving, because these are
No.
driver-friendly shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It sort of folds, bends, and it's this. Look, Jay, you've got the vibe.
No. I'm just feeling this story. This is such a great
You've
story.
got the
Because there's so
vibes.
many lessons there. There are customer service lessons, there are marketing lessons, there are branding lessons, there
Yes.
are attitudinal lessons, and just the way you perceive your job. And what has really struck me is that the moment somebody enters your car, that person has employed you.
Exactly.
You know, have you ever jammed your car before? Accident?
No. Rather,
You've been jammed.
oh, these naughty motor riders. Oh, they sort of sign their signatures on your
your ride.
paint.
On your
Sort
ride.
of some scratches up and down. I mean, they're a nuisance, but hey.
Normal taxi drivers say, hey! And then the unprintables flow. Have you had any opportunity to catch somebody and then say, oh no, I really shouldn't have done
Oh
this?
no, you know what? I think being a female puts me in check because I'm easily recognized.
I'm not sure it's just about being a female. I have seen females on the road. do their
And
thing.
probably a female taxi driver.
Okay, which is
Because
rare.
look, you know that should you leave anything in my car, you would easily find me anywhere in Accra.
Okay.
So also should I misbehave,
You will find
would
you.
quickly recognize me even in the darkest pit.
Let me ask President Muhammad's question to you. Have you ever bribed the police?
Oh, yes. Shocked?
No, I like the honesty.
Yes.
How
With
much-
what?
what?
Smiles.
Oh, you smiled at the policeman and bribed him.
I just when you go like ranting all over the place, I give you a grin, and then I grin so much you begin to think I'm so stupid, and it's like
Okay, so what?
But
you
no money.
You just stopped.
Oh, yeah,
Because
look.
you flouted
Not
safety
flouted,
regulations,
but,
or
one said my taxi light wasn't on, and apparently I think the bulb had expired, and he was like going all over the place. And I, number one, I said, you know what? From the lessons I had before becoming a taxi driver, I was told if you want to announce to passengers that you need clients, then you keep it on. But immediately someone sits in, the lights must go off. And this guy was like, no, that is not what is in the book. In fact, I have a copy of the book. And I said, okay, bring it on, because I have time to wait for you to flip through those pages.
There's some personal questions coming in here. So, how does your family deal with your job? And somebody wants to know whether you're married and whether your husband is okay with what you do.
Oh, dear.
First of all, your extended family,
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
siblings, parents.
They all fine. I mean, they all sweet about it. Let me say that. Mom for example, would be the one calling me to check whether I had finally found that that tipper truck driver to take me on. Can you imagine? Mom was the one doing that, and
siblings,
everyone. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of encouraging souls behind me.
And are you romantically engaged, involved?
Oh, Charlie, I hire Kwan. I catch and say I hire Busumfi.
We should ask that question. They want to know whether any love interest is there and what they think of your job.
People watching, wanting to know.
Tell them, I beg, fans.
Maybe when she's not wearing her uniform, you can ask her that question.
Now I'm in uniform.
She's at work now.
Yes,
all right.
I'm at work.
You sound like a Volta girl.
So you do.
Were you a Volta girl?
No.
You didn't go. You were not in Volta Hall.
No.
Okay.
Legon.
You were in Legon Hall. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Gentle people.
So you do taxi full time.
Full time.
Okay.
Full time, as in full time. This one, like you do your job full time. That's full time.
Does it pay?
If you give it the deserved time, it does. Yeah, but I wouldn't say it has all my attention because I'm still flipping through motherhood, being an MPhil student.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Oh, you're a student.
Okay, what are you studying for your MPhil?
Family resource management, and I'm sort of coming and grinding to a halt. I should be presenting my final work.
Oh, that's your degree, the first degree, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and those are your assistants.
Great.
So how are you able to juggle all of that? I didn't even know that.
Motherhood, academia.
Yeah.
I think I'm a circus performer.
Juggling all the balls.
Juggling. Because I wake up in the morning and I'm a mother. Mama comes in. And then I see to it that they're so tagged into school. And depending on what sort of bookings I have already received, I'm either zooming and taking off motherhood clothes and putting on the Miss Taxi clothes, or if I have one urgent text message from my supervisors, then it means I must be running up to campus, because honestly, I get on their nerves when it comes to deadlines, honestly.
Do they know that you drive a taxi for a living?
Why wouldn't you know? Right from the beginning, they do know.
They know. What do they think?
They're so encouraging. I mean, one particular lecturer, and Dr. Ose Bumpa, that goes for you.
Okay.
My name, Esenam, is no more on his book. He calls me Miss Taxi.
One time.
Anywhere he sees me on campus, it's like, and he will yell it out, Miss Taxi, and everybody's like, looking around, he's like, don't you know she drives a taxi?
I know. So you get a lot of patronage from school?
Oh, yes, because eventually I joined the campus taxi union. So I was one of the taxi drivers on campus, as in shuttling students to and fro. So my face is pretty much all over on campus.
Listen, there's such a volume of messages.
Right?
So Kweku Ajikum Dua on Twitter says, King Kaf, Beswa, I don't really know what to say. I'm so proud of Esenam. There's another one which says,
Thank you.
Please tell Esenam she is the woman of heart. She's beautiful. She's affable. This is Ajwa Bewa tweeting at Ajwa Bewa. Charlie, this woman is force. That's Dennis Nyantichi tweeting at Nyantichi Dennis. You're just getting so much love here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will, just quickly, I mean, you talked about how encouraging it has been, even from your colleagues at school, the lecturers, mom, the family. Let me just broaden it a bit. Let's look at the role of women in our society. Do you see that as encouraging enough as you're feeling now?
Oh, yes. To start with, women have always been development agents. The fact is that it has either been not recognized totally, or downplayed or undervalued. We have been development agents right from our bedrooms when we conceive and give birth and nurture the future workforce of this nation. That is where we have been, always. Then we come into productive contributions. You find women in all circles of the economic participation. probably we would say much of the chunk of the percentage of women are in the informal sector. Some have also made their names in the formal sector. But even in the formal sector, you still find out that there's this vertical occupational segregation happening there, where you have women taking greater number of women down the lower ranks, and then just a few of them up there. But in all that, women haven't relent in their efforts. We're still pushing up. And I would say, look, the space is there, but we need to take that space. It's not going to be given to us on silver platter. We need to take our space.
Indeed, considering all the challenges.
In all the challenges.
You've shared with us.
What's the future for Miss Taxi?
Whoa. Miss Taxi, there's this dream. If I should close my eyes now, I see fleet of taxis driven solely by women in some colorful uniform. I'm still keeping my eyes closed because that's what I see.
This will be great.
Amen.
This
will be great. I mean, issues of safety, traveling at night. Because I know this is a service that happens in some countries of the world.
Yes.
Where you have female taxi drivers, companies, and they cater for the female market. We're so proud of you. I mean, if we were to read all your messages here, we'll be here till tomorrow. I mean, I thought yesterday was my most interesting interview. We had some triplets here and a mother who was hungry. But today's has just gone to number one.
You are such a great interview.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's
and all the
such
best
an
with the
honor.
MPhil. All the best with Miss Taxi.
Thank you.
And your
Thank you.
boys.
Thank you.
We're going to call now for. So thank you so much, Esenam Nyador. Okay, so you are
standing by for me, right?
You're watching
Yes.
GH today on GH1 TV.
Can I afford you, by the way?
You can.
By the hour. I do charge by the hour.
By the hour.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And coming up pretty shortly
Definitely in some tips.
is Colors of Black Fashion. Are you intrigued? You'll find out pretty soon. Stay with us.
Hi, my name's Rachel. I've been hiring Esenam to drive us around for over 2 years now. It's been really great to have her number handy. When my parents came to visit and my husband had to work, I was able to call her up and she drove us all to the Volta region. And on days when my husband needs the car and I need to get to the store, I can call her up and no problem, she gets me there. And she always has such a great sense of humor and always makes me feel calm, even if it's a early morning trip to the airport and we're all stressed out having to travel. We just get into Esenam's car and we just feel relaxed. So I've told all of my friends about her, and when I have guests come into the country, she takes them to Cape Coast or wherever they want to go. And she's so reliable, and you just always know she'll be there on time. She handles the traffic with ease and isn't intimidated by the police. She gets some funny looks, I do have to say, because there aren't too many female taxi drivers in Accra. And sometimes the car's like, what? Is that a lady driving that taxi? And I think it's great. She just doesn't let anything hold her back. There is nothing you can't do, Esenam. Anything you set your mind to, you can achieve. You have that good spirit, you have the hard work, and you're fearless. So don't let anything stop you.